Heyo guys, girls, and everyone in between. This is Rebellious Pastry here, and happy Pride Month to all you guys, girls, and in-betweeners. I am an agender person that goes by they, them, theirs pronouns, and I can tell you that things are definitely harder when you don't have a gender in a world that is so dependent on it to make decisions for you, like what to wear, and how to act, and how people will treat you, and stuff like that. People can't really comprehend life without it very well because they will always have it and feel like they belong to it. Also, people love to believe being outside of the binary gender spectrum is a new thing, but it has always existed, and more people are finally feeling comfortable to be something other than male or female. This is gonna be more of a serious video than most of my other ones, so if you don't like serious videos, please make sure to click off of this video and find another Rebellious Pastry video to watch. But anyways, I'm gonna start by saying that it looks a ton easier on the outside than on the inside when it comes to figuring out gender. Because when one questions gender, they basically are questioning their whole entire existence on Earth. Because gender makes a large portion of who you are, and questioning that can be really stressful on the person. Because you question things that are just true to most people. How I started to question my gender was after I figured out I was on both the aromantic and asexual spectrums. I started to question other elements of my identity because I wasn't making very much sense to me, because there were subtle hints of the fact that I was non-binary that were overlooked due to not knowing what being non-binary was. Like as an elementary school child, I didn't quite feel like I fit into the mold of being a boy or a girl, and it was very discouraging because I didn't get an answer that was very useful. Due to people's gender education being so limited, I got the classic, "Oh, you're a tomboy," and that worked for me for the rest of elementary school. Something that was very confusing to people is the fact that when I was a child, I was the one to play with a lot of feminine toys at home and enjoyed them due to them being my toys, and I like my toys. But whenever I went to a childhood friend's house who were boys, I was more happy to play with their Nerf guns. I've mentioned my childhood friends before in my Christmas traditions video I also played Nerf guns with a childhood friend that I kept in contact with that has been on my stream shows before, by the name of the Quiet Kid Official, which wasn't so quiet back then anyways. I always liked to play with the boys' Nerf guns because they were fun, but I didn't know that it was a hint about my gender that got ignored because it's socially acceptable for girls to play with Nerf guns apparently. So those were some elementary school missed signs. And when I went to middle school, I felt the gap between girls and I increase because they started caring about their appearances and clicking together. And I couldn't quite understand what was going on, and I met a very important person in my life who was in my birthday video by the name of Omega Obsidian. He often was overlooked by the general public, and I didn't really click with the girls, which, I mean, that is one way to survive middle school, I guess. But anyways, I often asked him, why can't I be like the other girls? He didn't quite know the answer to that, because I was always the odd puzzle that didn't fit in with the rest of the puzzle pieces, and felt distressed due to it. But he felt bad that I was always comparing myself to other girls and couldn't figure it out, is the fact that I wasn't ready to be a woman yet. And one day, I would want to wear makeup, and be pretty, and have a boyfriend, and all the junk that they would tell anyone that would be considered a female. But joke on you, I decided to be a single animator instead, with my ace and arrow MB life, which most non-binary people I've noticed loved makeup and almost always have it on. I guess it's a way to express your gender, but the only reason of why I'd have makeup on is because someone insisted on me having it on, or it would be for Pride Fest and it would be makeup of my pride flag or something like that. I'm gonna be honest with people here and say that the English language wasn't really built to include everyone, and non-binary people have been working on workarounds for the fact that the English language don't work for us, like ZZ and Zaza for parent alternatives to mom and dad, child for alternative to son or daughter, mix for Mr., Miss, and Mrs. We are honestly still working on alternatives for aunt and uncle, which if Sister Pastry has a child before a clear-cut alternative comes, then I would let the child choose what they would call me. For niece/nephew, my alternative that I use with my accepting uncle, when I came out to him, Nefex, since I tend to be more masculine. But if you wanted a more feminine translation, then I would go with Niex, but there's still not a clean translation there. Also, we're still trying to figure out a alternative to ma'am/sir. Some people use tis, and others use the honorific of mix, and even others tend to go with whatever is more comfortable as far as ma'am or sir goes. I feel like other languages do a better job because in Japan they have boku as male and watashi that anyone can use, including males. One language that literally has a gender for everything is French. But what I am basically saying here is we are still working on languages working for everyone and not just for the gender typical people. One day we'll go ahead and be able to have languages work for everyone, but just go ahead and please give us our time for this. Now it's time for the end card. The reason of why I made this video is to go ahead and help people understand how it's like to be trans, and not only trans but non-binary trans. And please keep in mind that this video isn't a one size fits all and it's just my experiences. So you could be somewhere on the gender spectrum and have completely different experiences as I. These are my experiences, and please let me know if you guys would like more videos on gender, and if you would like more serious videos in general. Next video is going to be the 4th of July special, and it's gonna be goofy as always, so please stick around for that. Anyways, please do all the crap that all the other YouTubers ask you to do, and see you in a future to come.